Hey everyone, welcome to the Free Assange Vigil. I'm Steve Poikinen. I'm joined tonight by my co-hosts Misty Winston and Andrew Smith. We do have a guest this evening whom I will introduce in just a moment. But before we do that, welcome to week 87. Apologies for not being with you on Saturday, and it's good to be back. Um, we're going to go through the numbers as they stand on March 1st. 2021. Today marks 3,734 days of illegal and arbitrary detention for Julian Assange, 689 days since the WikiLeaks founder was trafficked from the Ecuadorian embassy after being sold to the US and the UK for a $4.2 billion IMF loan. It's been 55 days since District Judge and Concierge to the U.S. State Department, Vanessa Bracer, issued her January 6th ruling denying Julian Assange bail after issuing a ruling 48 hours prior in which his release had been ordered. It is 1,358 days of federal incarceration for Reality Winner. Which again, Reality Winner is in prison for literally no reason at all, definitely anymore. It's been 688 days since Ola Beanie first started getting legally persecuted, and we're going to do a little bit more on that story probably either this weekend or Tuesday. This is something that Juan Passarelli pointed out to us that we just, with everything else going on, let it fucking get overlooked, and that's our bad. On the positive side of things, it's been 351 days since Chelsea Manning has been out of the Alexandria Detention Center. We were, if you guys remember, there just a couple of weeks before they let her out of jail. So we were claiming credit for that. They did not want us showing back up with those fucking whistles ever again. So they said, okay, dismiss the WikiLeaks grand jury. Let Chelsea out of jail, and Jeremy Hammond, who was in that Alexandria detention center after being like yanked out of a state prison in Oklahoma in the middle of the night and transferred there, just so they could try and rattle his cage a bit more and get him to say some shit that he was never going to say in the first place. He went back to Oklahoma to finish out the rest of that sentence. After that, he's been released from prison in Oklahoma and has been in a halfway house for the last 105 days, which is significantly better than prison, but significantly far away from freedom. So we definitely hope the best for him. I would love to find out how many days left he's got to go through that bullshit. We would like to be able to announce some additional good news along with this. So if you are in any kind of contact with anyone who would have that information, please let us know. Please do. And with that, our guest this evening is joining us from an undisclosed location and will be traveling extensively in the next couple of days. So you're not going to be able to find her, Kevin. You're not. But would you like to introduce the events that we've been fundraising for, and maybe let people know what happened to the GoFundMe, or what went on with the GoFundMe, and where they can donate now? Our guest or Andrew or Misty, it's entirely up to you. I'm not even going to give you a name. They're just going to figure it out when you start talking anyway.
So I'll pick up the GoFundMe stuff. So what had happened, GoFundMe originally, for the first 3 protests that we did, right, February, September, and then January, approved everything, no problem. Super simple. There was no issue whatsoever, right? This last time, they refused to allow the bank account to be connected because we basically can't get a physical signature from the bank to verify that it is a real account. So I gave them 25 months of bank statements for it. I gave them every direct deposit form that the bank would allow me to print, and they still rejected it. And they said, you're going to have to try to find a different account. So we're still going to try to get that money. I have just frozen the donations on there, and it may just be it ends up getting refunded. GoFundMe hasn't gotten back to me since I messaged them back yesterday, so we're still waiting on that. But we did set up a Go Get Funding, which is virtually the same thing, if not a little bit better. That link is in the description underneath us. So we're basically starting out at square zero with 15 days to go, which is horrifying because by this point, we've generally have had housing secured. We've had all of the materials that we've needed ordered and put together and all of that fun stuff. So that's kind of the state of that right now.
We'll figure it out.
We're also going to drop the Go Get Funding link in the chats.
Yeah, I'll tweet it too again.
And fuck GoFundMe.
Right?
So Glory Jones, how the hell are you?
Anonymous guest on the Assange.
You're like the least anonymous person. Everybody knows your voice. I'm pretty sure everybody would know by your hair.
Hard to see the hair, though. Hard
It
to
is.
see the hair.
It is, but
You know what? This works in my favor though, because then when I don't want to be recognized, I know like how to make that happen.
You just need like the voice changer thingy.
Yeah. You have a recognizable voice for sure.
Apparently, I don't look like me. If you see
What?
pictures of me from my
No, you because you
my
don't.
youth.
Because you don't. Because you don't. Because you don't. You're like a different person, bro. And listen, I told you this already. Like it's not a bad thing. It really isn't, because it's not like one of those deals where like, oh my God, Steve, you're so good looking. What happened? Like it's not one of those deals. It's just you look so different.
Okay, now we need all the pictures to be posted publicly so that everybody can decide what they think about the situation.
I don't know about publicly, but they're in the Slow News Day chat. You can go look
Yeah.
at them. Misty.
I think I saw them.
They're in the element chat that Misty never reads.
Because I'm really terrible at that stuff.
Group chats are hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
It's like I'll DM them to you on Twitter.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I saw them, but like I just
Maybe
try to
keep
scroll
them
through
off
there.
Twitter. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'll shoot you we'll figure it out, Glory. We got it.
So do we want to kick it off with the ACLU article?
Yes, let's do that, Andrew.
So there's really
Great
only
job.
one relevant section in the entire thing. Basically, the ACLU wrote a scathing piece about Merrick Garland and his assault on journalism. There's one section in here that I'll pull up on the screen real quick, because it's the one about Julian Assange. I'm getting there, hold on.
Really, it takes you to a donate screen first. That's irritating.
To where for what?
That ACLU article.
Oh, yeah, you have to scroll past it. The donate screen is part of the article.
Yeah.
But this is what they say about press freedom. And I'll throw this whole article in there for everybody. The free press faced unprecedented attacks under the Trump administration. From Trump calling the press the enemy of the people, to federal officials targeting journalists at racial justice protests last year. The freedom of the press is fundamental to American democracy. As senators question Garland, should ask if he will defend freedom of expression and freedom of the press. This includes asking whether he would support the federal journalist shield law, and if he agrees with Attorney General Eric Holder's conclusion that whether or not one considers Assange a journalist, there is no way to prosecute him for publishing classified information without opening the door to similar prosecutions of important investigative journalism. And that is the extent that the ACLU went with mentioning Julian Assange and talking about
so annoying. What is wrong? Like, I know it's gotten better. You know, people have started speaking out more, but this shit is just ridiculous. You know?
Like, I appreciate them doing it, and I appreciate them, you know, putting that little bit out there, but it needs to go further.
You would think that this is, I mean, really, to me, this is a no-brainer. It's just so very clear the corruption, because to me, it is so obviously fucked up what's happening to him. The fact that nobody is talking about it, despite, you know, claiming to be worried about human rights or any number of things that they claim to be worried about. It's depressing. But that's where we're at.
It's the dumbest thing ever, really. It's so spineless to see people, like, at this point, if you're a mainstream journalist and you don't know anything about this case and you're not bringing it up when the White House is putting out dumbass statements like, oh, well, we really care about freedom of the press, da-da-da-da-da, then if you're not bringing up that case, then you are actively restricting yourself against doing so. Like, it's gotten to the point where people are actively preventing and gatekeeping themselves from speaking up about this case. And it's really punk ass.
Weird. Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, we've talked about it a million times that, like, people are like being zombie walked into their own demise. And some of them are even cheering it on. It's fun, you know? I mean, we are sanctioning Russia for what they're doing, but we won't. But we're torturing Julian Assange. It's like the hypocrisy is just so blatant and in your face.
Yeah, Navalny is a fucking xenophobic pig.
I know.
And he's getting more sympathy than Assange, really?
Yes. Bernie Sanders spoke out in his defense, and you know, the whole gang was ready to speak out in his defense. But we can't get any of them to even mention a word of Julian Assange, and that's, to me, just makes it so obvious.
You don't remember?
What?
You don't remember?
What?
They support 100%.
Oh, right. I forgot. They support 100%.
I
always have.
100%.
Don't block me, Paula.
We should. Oh, you're not blocked?
Oh, no, I am.
Oh, okay.
I was like one of the first people blocked.
How did you make it out unscathed? Like, for sure you were right there. Like, how did you make it out unblocked?
Yeah, no, it was just a joke, yeah.
But we need shirts that say that. I support 100%.
I support 100%.
For real, I'm not kidding. I want a shirt. That
It'll
says
go
it.
up. It'll go up on the Slow News Day site.
Okay. You guys know how much I love t-shirts.
For sure.
I think it would be
damn.
We gotta start getting a jump on that.
I love shirts. I'll buy shirts. I love shirts. Funnier the better.
Y'all ain't even ready. Dude.
No, you aren't.
There's so many things that people just aren't fucking ready for. Like,
no, they're not.
Next couple of months are gonna be fun.
No, they're not.
They're gonna be fun.
Y'all are ready to see Scoop Gang.
You should join us in Washington, D.C. on March 17th and March 18th. We're going to have a march from the plaza where Fox, NBC, and C-SPAN are. We're going to go down to CNN. We're going to have some speakers. We're going to then be met by a fuck censorship protest that Fiorella Isabel is letting Pasta and Fee be a part of, or Pasta and Johnny Sue be a part of. So it's Fee's protest, and Pasta and Johnny Buttons get to hang out. But this thing's gonna be awesome. It is. Apostle was talking about having a barbecue the following day after the DOJ event, like a fuck censorship meet and greet picnic barbecue at the DOJ.
It'd
Pasta's
be like a
vegan.
real life AMA almost.
Pasta's vegan though, so we're gonna have to make sure.
Huh?
Pasta's vegan.
vegan.
You
So.
got to get organic charcoal
So-
for the barbecue.
Okay, so
BYO.
pasta can munch on some lettuce and shit as long as the lettuce doesn't cast its own shadow or something like that, because then it might be too alive for a vegan to eat. But
Yeah.
we'll get some real food.
Yeah, it's just that it'll be like BYO and bring your own meat, you know, because like Combo Couch won't be providing any.
I mean, cool. They could kick in for it though, right? Yeah.
Oh no, ask them.
Oh.
That's a very fair point, Glory Jones.
I am
I
not
don't
Glory
know. Ask
Jones.
them.
I am anonymous personality alleged to
right.
be Glory Jones.
Right. Sorry.
I
Anonymous.
don't know
person.
who the fuck Glory Jones is.
Right.
Yeah.
Do any of us really though? I'm excited for DC, and everybody needs to come, like for real. Come if you can. I know it's like a big ask right now with quarantine and travel restrictions, but if you can, it would be dope for you to come. It's gonna be fun and exhausting, but also fun.
The anonymous personality alleged as Glory Jones currently that you see in front of you will be there. And I look forward to seeing you all in person very much. Very
Yeah,
excited for that.
So fun.
I'm smiling behind this mask.
Oh boy.
Do you want to do the full Merrick Garland article?
We can.
There's a rcfp.org article, Reporters Committee for Press Freedom, that does a review just of his record on press freedom.
Will you throw it in the Jitsi chat?
Yeah,
That's not coming out on Element.
I got you.
Yeah, but Merrick Garland, speaking of Merrick Garland, the letter writing campaign, I've kind of shifted my focus a little bit to Joe Biden and Merrick Garland, mostly because he hasn't been voted on yet. But I do think that the Senate Judiciary Committee voted and passed him on to like going to a full vote in the Senate. I don't know when that is going to be, but it's going to be soon. And almost certainly he's going to be the new Attorney General. So I have been writing letters. I think I have like 7 right now for him because I didn't want to send them until we saw which way it was going to go for sure. But I've just been like writing letters and like getting them ready to go. And then once he's actually ready to take over, I'm going to start mailing them out. Because, we don't have a lot of hope with him. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, this is not, but we have to try. And again, quick, easy way. It takes 5 minutes to write a letter, send it in.
How can people find your letter writing
Huh?
campaigns? Where can people go to find your letter writing campaigns?
So, I honestly, like, it's not very organized at all. There's a Discord that I don't ever check. Surprise, surprise. There are 2 different Twitter DM groups that I don't check. Surprise, surprise. I'm actually really, like, I've been like really terrible about this one. But yeah, I tweet about it all the time, but you guys can check out the Discord, or if you like get at me on Twitter, I can add you to one of the letter writing groups. But yeah, I wish I could get more organized about this one. So that's probably going to be like a thing that I tackle in the next coming weeks. Just so we can get, I don't know, maybe I won't, because I don't know how I feel about it. As far as like something I put a lot of attention on, because is it really worth, you know what I mean? That's like something I'll have to weigh. Like, is it worth the impact? The energy I'm putting in, is that making a big enough impact for it to be worth that energy? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for now, Merrick Garland, Joe Biden, write to him. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Fuck them.
I have to remind everybody that Merrick Garland is who like ultra conservative Senator Charles Grassley wanted
Yeah, it's not good.
for the Supreme Court, and that was him throwing it out like as a way to troll Barack Obama. And Barack Obama was like, sure, let's get him in there. And then was like, wait a minute, no, we have to let Hillary Clinton stack the Supreme Court, which is a thing that they had a conversation about, and a thing that they decided to do. And like Huffington Post accidentally reported it after the fact. And it was the quote from Brian Schatz. I can't remember where he's from. I can't remember what district he represents. Old Congress critter Schatz. At any rate, like he was quoted in the Huffington Post saying, we made a calculation and we were over enthusiastic or something to that effect. Like we in hindsight, that was probably not the best idea to punt on Merrick Garland because Hillary Clinton didn't win the election, but nobody knew that was going to happen. Like, and he's explaining how they thought that they could just stack the courts, which is what people in power do when they get in power. And instead, Donald Trump got to do that. He had a lot of help from Senate Democrats in doing that. And he appointed, like over 160 federal judges. Wow.
I think it was over 200.
Is it?
I think so. If not, it was really close.
It's an incredible amount of judicial officials. And it matters in terms of civil liberties defense, I think, who the president is when the federal judge appointments get made. But it's never going to matter in terms of worker rights. It's never going to matter in terms of like class-based cases, you know. And on the whole, the judiciary is packed with more or less, you know, people who are comfortable with the corporate state as it exists, and would like to further limit our ability to freely assemble or to state our opinion in public or to state our opinion on privately owned social media corporations that are intertwined with the government.
Well, just look at Christopher Wray's testimony today. That was terrifying. Dude's talking about getting a backdoor on, you know, Facebook and social media. I mean, we know that they probably already have that shit anyways, but he's just like talking about it in Senate testimony about how he wants social media sites to work with the FBI to give them access to everything, all of your stuff, everybody, not criminal, doesn't matter. They just want pretty much full access, full run. I don't know how to tell you guys, but that's fascism.
That's horrifying.
Fascism. That is fascism. If you claim to be anti-fascist, you should be paying attention to this, because that is fascism. That is state censorship, period, point blank. I mean, even though they're going through a middle guy, like they're going through the social media giants, and so it's not like a direct, that is fascism. That's state censorship, legit. Please pay attention. Like, please pay attention. I feel like nobody's paying attention. So
Isn't it terrifying just to see all this like, roll out in real time?
Yeah. Yes. We're watching it in real time. We're watching, like, we're being slow marched into like legitimate fascism. And then the people who claim to be fighting fascism are busy smearing First Amendment activists and free speech activists as fascist. And it's this weird
trying to
upside down
on
world.
their neighbors. Like, you really think snitching on your Trump-supporting neighbor is going to help anything when there was a fucking pre-crime arrest just early this year?
Yes, they have the best facial recognition technology on planet Earth. They don't need you to rat out your neighbor.
They don't.
They just want to know who will.
Yeah.
You know,
They just want to know who will, and they want to train you to, because snitching on your Trump supporting neighbors to the FBI isn't gonna fucking help. It's already been confirmed that local police departments are working with agencies like Clearview AI to literally use their databases, which take from social media, by the way, to identify people that were in the Capitol Hill insurrection and then report that to the FBI. And like earlier this year, there was a pre-crime arrest. Daniel Baker, who's a fucking leftist in LA, our boys in the blue, LAPD, they're working with Ring Amazon to try and identify protesters from the Black Lives Matter protests last summer. To try and catch them. They're using footage gathered from those stupid little electronic doorbells. If you have a Ring, take that shit down, please. I beg you.
Real, take it down.
Please.
But Unicorn Riot also leaked the drone footage. I mean,
Yeah,
they had the drone up above the protest or whatever it was, but they weren't just monitoring the protest. There was like a person and their kid in their backyard, like by their garage, and they're like zooming in on that. They zoomed in on like a jogger. It's like they're
because
we live in a surveillance state. This is a surveillance state. Welcome to it.
Anytime there's a protest, they literally send at least 4 helicopters, and they fly around the whole perimeter. And they're not just shining us, they shine spotlights too on the protesters so they can identify easily which ones the protesters actually are. But instead they fly around the whole perimeter and they're surveilling that whole area. Like in South Central, the sheriff's station in South Central is in the middle of a neighborhood. So when they surveil protesters as they're trying to kettle us and arrest us and brutalize us, they're surveilling other people within that neighborhood. And the same goes to any other protest across the country. Like if you go to any protest on the ground, it's like at this point, I'm surprised if I don't see helicopters, and it sucks.
I don't think we've had any helicopters in DC yet, on a positive note.
I'm sure
we don't usually bring out helicopters until there's like several or 1,000 or more people.
Oh yeah,
because they don't need to map from the sky that way. They don't need to surveil from the sky that way.
More like hundreds, not even thousands.
Like if it's smaller groups of people, there are cameras everywhere in DC.
Yes.
Police officers will bring their own handheld cameras. Like I caught footage of a police officer just brazenly holding a camera, going do.
Mm-hmm.
No, you live in a surveillance state.
Let me zoom in on that one. Yeah,
it's really not. We're already there. Like people keep saying, oh, the spy stuff is getting so bad. No, it's not getting so bad. It's bad. It's been bad for a long time. We're behind the 8 ball. Like they are many, many, many steps ahead. You know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good at all. I wish more people were paying attention to it. It really is. I'm glad I have you guys, seriously, because I feel like I'm going crazy all the time because I recognize how insanely bad this really is and is like getting and going to like be. And like I look around and nobody has any idea what's happening. And it's so depressing. Oh.
Well, that's one of the things that we're hoping out of the Clovers events is that people have them all over the world, which is already happening, but we would like for that to kind of grow. And we'd like for it to do for people what it did in the digital space, which was give WikiLeaks supporters a way to recognize each other and know that they weren't going crazy and that they weren't all alone in thinking the way that they are about this. We're hoping that can happen in the physical realm and the people, all over the place can find somebody or find a group of somebody is where they are, and fucking then go and continue to have those events where you're at. And let us know. We like road trips.
Yeah, I like road trips, actually. I really do. But yeah, I think that that's, I mean, already happening. Like we're already seeing people, like at least I am on Twitter. People are reaching out to me to find people in their areas. I know I've hooked a bunch of people, not a bunch, but several people up with either Kendra or Paula. I've had, people have been interested and like DM them for more information about when they hold their events and stuff like that. So, I mean, you're right. It's definitely growing. But yeah, sometimes you can feel a little bit like the only person in the whole world who understands what's happening with the First Amendment and how it's, just being gutted, like right in front of us. They're not hiding it at all. At all.
Does someone want to screen share that Garland article from the rcfp.org?
Yeah. I'm not going to do it because my internet's terrible. But
yeah, hang on. Getting it. Do.
Yeah, Merrick Garland's going to be a problem, y'all. Just be ready.
So, in 2016, when he was nominated for U.S. Supreme Court, the Reporters Committee surveyed Judge Merrick Garland's decisions in First Amendment and Freedom of Information Act cases from his tenure on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. Now that President Kamala Harris has tapped Judge Garland to serve as the next Attorney General, we have updated our analysis. We do not grade nominees or make recommendation for or against their approval by the Senate. We only try to summarize their records to offer information relevant to news gathering and First Amendment rights journalists. Garland served as Chief Judge from 2013 to 2020, has taken strong stands on First Amendment issues and 2 significant dissents during his long service on the appellate court. In one case, he wrote a dissent in support of a robust reporter's privilege, and in another case in which he joined the dissent, he supported First Amendment protections for the publication of lawfully obtained information. The decisions in the FOIA cases show a commitment to government transparency, with only a few decisions favoring government arguments for withholding records. He identified 2 FOIA cases in his most important rulings on a questionnaire sent to the committee. One concerned fee waivers, the other drone strike records. Finally, in one recent court access case litigated by Reporters Committee attorneys, Judge Garland reversed a lower court's ruling that denied public access to certain electronic surveillance records, writing in his opinion for the court that the public's right of access to judicial records is a fundamental element of the rule of law. And then they've got opinions of his down here, including the one that we just quoted from. And I don't want a bunch of dead air, so...
No, that's fine. I was just going to say this article frames a little bit differently than we do, because I don't know too much about Merrick Garland personally. I just know that he's been through the system, and if you know anything about the system itself, like you're John Kiriakou, you don't get moved up unless you take someone's head. So I don't personally think we should trust this guy as far as we can throw him.
Of course not. No. Not even like a little tiny bit. Mm-mm. I mean, that I would hope that would go without saying. Yeah, this dude is going to be a problem. I mean, just be real. Like none of these people are ever going to be on our side. Ever.
Nope.
Ever. Like, we may be able to pressure them. If we get enough mass public pressure, you might be able to like move them to do certain things. But yeah, these people are never going to be on your side. It's going to take like a legit revolution and overhaul of the system to get, some actual representation in your government. Because these people have, they're too far gone. The system's too far gone. Like, it's just not possible. There's no reform. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. So stop it.
But what you can do, and what I'm sure we'll end up doing, or at least encouraging, and we'll be talking with guests in the future about, is using those decisions and those quotes as a club,
Yes.
and beating liberals over the head with it, and saying, why then do we currently have all of these restrictions on the press? Why do we have a political prisoner and a journalist and publisher who is also being tortured? Why did the number of journalists who faced direct physical harm and persecution by authorities increase by 1,200% last year?
Well, and that's how a public pressure campaign works. A lot of people will like tweet at me and be like, "Oh my God, I don't know why you're tweeting at Joe Biden. He's not going to do that." Well, no shit. I'm fully aware of that. That the point of me tweeting at a Joe Biden or a Donald Trump or a Bernie Sanders or an AOC is not because I actually think that those people are going to see my tweet and then comment on Julian Assange. Be cool if they did. But that's not how that works. But that's how you gather public pressure. That's how you get people who follow those people thinking, oh yeah, that is weird. Why hasn't Bernie Sanders spoke up for Julian Assange? And oh yeah, Joe Biden quotes Thomas Jefferson on how important press freedom is. So why is he prosecuting Julian Assange? And that's what that is. I wish people would get that, because I'm really tired of getting those tweets. I understand fully.
Yes.
I understand fully that they're not going to do what I'm asking them to do. Okay, I get it. This is not like my first rodeo. I understand. I really do. So your tweets are not helpful.
Yeah, no, I'm seconding everything that Misty just said, because I get the same every time I spam Ro Khanna. Like I get some dude in my mentions that's like, "Oh, why are you groveling
He's
for
not going to
Ro
do that.
Khanna? You know that's not
shit.
going to help." Like, yes, I know that. I coined the phrase certified punk ass just so I could call Ro Khanna a certified punk ass. Like, I'm well aware that he's not going to speak for Julian. I'm well aware that these politicians aren't going to listen to my spam. Like, I reached out to AOC's own campaign and only got a volunteer response. Like, I already know they're not going to do anything about it. But at the same time, it's like Misty said, that's how you gather public pressure. That's how you get their supporters to see that. And hey, if it annoys one of their volunteers or one of their interns, then cool, okay? Because I'm a spammy person. Like when I feel like it, I'll go on a spam to help build that public pressure. So like,
and it works.
Stop. And also like, it's not the only thing we do. Like
No.
the spams are literally the most complimentary thing to everything I do. It's just that, that's the only thing that people on Twitter see. So they can't understand that there's other shit
like
going
hijacking
on.
hashtags. Like we hijack hashtags all the time. If something's trending, like something ridiculous is trending, like The Bachelor or some bullshit, I will hijack that and twist it around and like try to get people to see something about Julian Assange.
We're hijacking a holiday. We're hijacking a whole holiday.
Yes.
Like, oh, you want to complain about my Twitter spams? I go to downtown LA and I blitzkrieg flyer the shit out of that, no matter how many times they tear it down. Like,
yeah, I get it, girl. I get it.
I know that's
little bitch session. But yeah, I deal with that shit all the time. And some people are like very well meaning, like, why are you wasting your time? That they're not gonna, but I know. I really do. Most people are just trying to be assholes, like acting like, I mean, there are still people who try to troll me and be like, yeah, you actually thought Trump was going to pardon Assange. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. If you knew me, or if you watched this show or my other show, or if you actually followed me on Twitter, you would be very well aware of the fact that no, I didn't.
Jack Posobiec might have thought that Trump was going to pardon Julian Assange.
I never thought
so I spammed OAN's website, like dead ass, sending just insane, so much so that he had to fucking go on Twitter and say, hey, I'm getting a lot of questions about the Trump pardon. It's like, we know, trust me.
Yeah it's okay, guys. I really do know. Like, I'm fully aware that this is like long shot beyond long shot beyond long shot. Steve says it all the time. We are punching way above our weight here. Like this is David versus
and the goal is to
every, you
like,
know.
you guys don't even see my DMs to Marcus Rashford. Like, I'm well aware I'm taking long shots here.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah, but it doesn't, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take long. Like shooting out like 30 spam tweets on Twitter doesn't take long, but it is effective on some level. And so I'll do it. It's not like it's hard. I mean, Christ, it's Twitter. A monkey could do it, you know, like it's not that complicated. So yeah, if I can hijack a hashtag or if I can spam some, you know, Congress critter and get some attention or some eyeballs on, you know, Julian Assange, then I do that. It's not that hard, but I really do understand how it works. I'm not an idiot. Okay. I appreciate it, but no, I'm not an idiot. I got it.
yes.
Thanks. Sorry. Rant over.
And public service announcement from Gloria and Misty.
Right.
From
We really
anonymous
should
person.
make that like a little
And-
commercial.
Yeah. And public service announcement from Misty Winston and anonymous personality alleged to be Glory Jones.
Yeah. And there you go.
We had an article hanging out for Mo wrote it a while back about the expanding powers of the UK spy cops, and that's something we had been following for a little bit. It's his Jacobin article. I don't think we had a chance to dig into it.
I don't even see that.
I just dropped it in the Element
Wow.
chat. It's hiding in there.
I can share screen it.
It's the first article under news in the doc.
All right. I can share screen it right here. Oh, for fuck's sake. No.
Mhm.
You fucking white saviors. Okay. Okay. Britain's government has decided no one should police the police. A bill pushed by Britain's Tories government will pave the way for security and law enforcement agents to commit crimes with no risk of being prosecuted. The move follows revelations of appalling police abuses against environmental, anti-racist, and trade union activists. Yet Keir Starmer's Labour Party has abstained rather than opposed the bill in a truly shocking move. One of the most disturbing pieces of legislation in living memory is making its way through the UK Houses of Parliament. If it becomes law, an increasingly likely prospect, this Covert Human Intelligence Sources Bill, CHIS, will authorize conduct by officials and agents of the security and intelligence services, law enforcement, and certain other public authorities which would otherwise constitute criminality. In essence, the law would allow officials in a myriad of government departments and agencies to approve officers, agents, and assets to commit criminal offenses without any risk of being sued or prosecuted. The particular offenses that could be authorized are not listed in the bill. However, repeat amendments that sought to ensure at least some constraints, such as prohibiting the authorization of rape, torture, or murder, or restricting the use of children and vulnerable as assets authorized to commit crimes, have all been defeated. The proposed law has a sweeping scope. Under this bill, criminal conduct can be authorized if it is deemed to be in the interest of national security, done for the purposes of preventing or detecting crime, or of preventing disorder. Read that again. Done for the purpose of preventing or detecting crime, of preventing disorder, or in the interest of economic well-being of the UK. Shami Chakrabarti, a member of the House of Lords, also known as a peer, told Tribune in January that the CHIS bill is one of the most dangerous that she's ever seen. Once worked with the Home Office as a lawyer and later headed up the human rights group Liberty, she attempted to amend the CHIS bill when it came to the Lords after it passed through the House of Commons. The Home Office's fact sheet states that only the intelligence agencies, the National Crime Agency, the police, HM Revenue and Customs, the armed forces, and 10 other public authorities will be permitted to authorize criminal conduct under the bill. Yet these 10 include such varied bodies as the Gambling Commission, Food Standards Agency, the Environmental Agency, and the Department of Health and Social Care. Should I pause there, or?
That's fucking horrifying.
Yes.
This is something we've gone over a lot, but literally, they're just allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. They shot down they literally shot down an amendment to stop child trafficking. That's what that was. Like, they literally said you can't use children to entice people into sex. Like, let's at least limit that. And they wouldn't even fucking do it.
What is happening? Jesus Christ, you guys.
This
What
is
is
what an
happening?
empire in free fall looks like.
Yeah. Fair point. That's accurate.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
fucking
really, if you
nuts.
ever wondered what the collapse of an empire would look like from the inside,
Welcome to it.
bro, we're living it. We
I've been saying that
have
for years.
it. You've got let's just take California for an example. All right, California, the United States is the largest economy in the world. California, as a state, is the 5th largest economy in the world. We have more than 500,000 homeless people. We have people who are, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, and this is a couple of years back now, in the Bay Area of San Francisco, if you were a family of 4 that was making $147,000 a year, you were considered low income.
Teachers can't afford to live in the same cities that they teach in. They have to, like, you know, like
That's
San Francisco
not
teachers
sustainable.
don't live in San Francisco.
That is not, and you can't live anywhere around San Francisco either, because they're gentrifying the fuck out of Oakland and have been for the last 15 years, 20 years.
That's how this works. It just spreads. It spreads.
And the cost of living is like untenable for so many millions of people. That's an empire in collapse. We have the largest prison population on the planet. That's an empire in collapse. We're locking up journalists and publishers and having them tortured.
Well,
That's
and
an
God
empire in
forbid
collapse.
you try and feed and take care of the massive homeless population, or else
Right.
you'll be arrested dozens of times, or LAPD will send their fucking horse brigade after you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not great. Things are not great. And it's only going to get worse. Jesus.
Oh,
We're
the
so
big
doom
shout
and
out to the
gloom.
people who watched that show with Keith McHenry from Food Not Bombs, found out what the city of Santa Cruz was trying to do to Keith, to Food Not Bombs, to the location where they've been, providing the only hot meals to Santa Cruz's many homeless, uninterrupted every day during the entire lockdown and all of that. Keith gave out the number for a guy who worked for the city of Santa Cruz named Paul Horvat, and gave out the email address too for city of Santa Cruz, and that happened on, I believe, a Tuesday or a Wednesday. By Friday, when I went down to the Food Not Bombs location in Santa Cruz, I don't even know if I've talked about this yet. So, okay, on Friday, I go to Santa Cruz to go see Keith, because that was the day that they were supposed to get like rolled up on and swatted. And I wanted to be there to document it, at least, if not get myself arrested for trying to prevent some shit. And I pull up and Keith is talking to a guy, and it's that guy. It's Paul Horvat from the city of Santa Cruz, whose number Keith had given out, not just on Slow News Day's live stream, but also on Anonymous Bites Back. And his email.
Oh, that had to be fun.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you guys.
You're
Because
welcome.
he didn't show up with the cops. He didn't show up to kick him out. And he knew who I was when I showed up and started walking up to him. He did, because Keith is like, yeah, and this is Steve Poiketed. He's got, and Paul goes, oh, I know.
Oh, I bet he does. That's fucked up.
That's how we should roll all the time. Like, that's what we're talking about. Public pressure. That's what works. I mean, when you have hundreds of people calling you, it's hard to ignore that. And it's, when people are making noise about it and calling attention to it, and it causes a scene, and that's the last thing you want if you're an elected official. You do not want drama, you don't want controversy, you don't want angry people outside your office. And that's how you get stuff done, is by pressuring them, forcing their hand. I mean, if you're going to work within the system, which I'm not a big fan of, but can't seem to convince enough people that it's a bad idea that it matters. So if you're going to work within the system, that's how you have to do it. Like, you have to really pressure. And that means your favorites, not just Republicans, because your favorites are the ones who are actually in the way of things. So
especially
and your favorites are the ones that have power.
Yeah.
Right? These people that tell you that they have no power to do anything, but then at the same time will turn around and tell you to vote as hard as they can while not getting a vote on anything.
Yeah. Ilhan Omar just put out a tweet earlier. Everything's the fault of Republicans. We can't work with them, and they're bad. And I retweeted him like, this is performative bullshit. This is bullshit. That's bullshit. It's not the Republicans, and she fucking knows that. And she's gaslighting her own supporters, pretending like Republicans are the only problem while ignoring the corruption in her own party and doing jack shit for anybody but herself. It's performative nonsense. The squad has millions of followers. If they wanted to affect change, they could affect change. If they wanted to stand up to Nancy Pelosi and really fight for $15 an hour or really fight for Medicare for all, they could fucking do that. And anybody that tells you that they can't is lying to you. That is what they have. They have that kind of political power. I don't even know if it's really political power, but they have the ability to command millions of people. You know what I mean? Like, people listen to them. If they called for a strike, there would be a strike. Stop making excuses for them not doing what they are absolutely capable of doing. I mean, you guys saw the thing with the little girl having selling shit to pay for her own brain surgeries. What the fuck is happening? And what are we supposed to tell that little girl? Sorry, it just wasn't the right time to fight for Medicare for all. Fuck you. If you're a progressive and you're in Congress and you have that kind of power and that level of following, and you're not using that to really fight to save little girls like that, then you can go fuck yourself. Sorry. I don't care. I'm done.
Well, not only that, but they want to actively discourage people from using their massive platform to try and organize and mobilize their base when they go after fucking Republicans. Like when they went after Trump for literally saying, we're going to walk over to the Capitol. Or when Ted Cruz almost had AOC murdered. Apparently questioning the integrity of the holy election system is now akin to attempted murder. They're actively discouraging people from using their massive platforms to mobilize people against the system by doing that as well. And it's disgusting. You'll mobilize your base for yourself easily. You'll mobilize. You'll go on IG Live and do a nice little narrative manufacturing fest for the Pfizer biotech vaccine.
Dude, she straight up put out a mass email to all of her little followers to go and mass report stuff on social media that she didn't like, or that didn't make her look good, or that she considered to be fake or disinformation. Well, you don't get to decide that, sis. And sending out an email to your huge email list and using it in that way is fucking crazy. That's crazy that's happening. And a politician is commanding her email list to go mass report accounts on social media for saying things she doesn't like. That's
for spreading misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation. What is that? Because you don't get to decide. It's not your. No.
Well, what it is any information which contradicts the official narrative.
Right. Right.
Or even questions it. Or you know what? Not even questions or contradicts
sideways
it.
At it.
Anything that repeats the official narrative in a way that encourages people to think otherwise. Because when Steve and his co-host on the show he has, Glory Jones, do their show, when they literally repeat quotes and play clips from the World Economic Forum themselves, and they tell them listen, this is what it is. This is what it is. They get a QAnon context warning.
It's true. On like every fucking
Steve,
video.
you're muted, by the way.
We got one yesterday too.
I don't know who the we is. You and
I'm
Glory.
speaking about my show and my co-host.
Yeah.
I need your fucking lip. I get enough of that on Slow News Day. Have you seen that chick? Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. The other day you guys were so funny. I forget what were we even talking about, but you made like a kind of a dumb joke and you were like, they can't all be zingers. Fuck you, Jones. And then she was like, I wasn't judging you, but fuck you too, Steve. Like, alrighty then.
We have fun.
Yeah. It was just funny. I forget. I don't even remember who the guest was or what show. It was recent. But that
I think it was
Bailey.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It was either yesterday or it was Bailey. But yeah.
I don't know. The shows blend together, fam. They really do. All the shows are like somewhere up there.
Steve's co-host has a lot of fun and she loves the show and she's very grateful to be on.
Yeah, I think it was Bailey, maybe. I think it was. But yeah, that was some funny
Bailey
shit.
cracks me up. She had a great interview with Ryan today, and she'll be on with Fee and Pasta on Thursday.
We just had her on. She was awesome.
I haven't been able to watch that yet. I'm looking forward.
She was awesome. I was so nervous because I always, I get I have a lot of respect for her, so I get really nervous and like tongue tied because I'm really awkward and a dork. So yeah, I was really nervous and like really awkward and a dork. So, but that's just how I roll. I've gotten used to that level of self-hatred. That's fine.
I feel you.
Cartoon shit. I think it's worth mentioning, right? Because I saw this article pop up today. 50,000 National Guard troops remain in D.C. amid QAnon frenzy that Trump will be inaugurated this week. So they are still keeping those same 50,000 or 5,000. I'm sorry,
5,000.
troops. 5,000 stationed in DC, right?
Yeah, but that was the plan anyway.
Really? I can't believe they do that, guys.
In January, when they were like, we're going to extend the deployment. And it was from, originally it was to this week. And then they extended it to the end of March. And now they've extended it another 6 months or till the end of the year or something like that. Basically, DC is an armed encampment for the government, for some Instagram influencers. They get the entire U.S. military. They get a National Guard fucking armed presence.
It's fine.
So they can cry on an IG live stream.
Our world's
and fucking throw legitimate sexual assault survivors under the bus so they can pretend like they were in danger on the 6th just to get some fucking domestic terrorist legislation thrown in, along with all of the other horrifically draconian legislation that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have planned.
So, yeah. Steve, I'll take that as a no on Twitter's new Birdwatch feature.
Yo, dude.
Oh God!
It's really cool and normal, right?
We all kind of knew that shit was gonna happen, like the Birdwatch thing. Like it was, they're just basically they're putting into policy what they've been doing behind the guise of I don't know, it was a glitch or we had there was one moderator that was having a bad day. No, now it's just straight open door fucking snitch and censor and yeah.
And did I just see that they're gonna try to introduce like a pay feature on Twitter? That is some funny shit. Y'all, I will never ask you to pay for my tweets.
Bro, pay to pay social media platforms, really?
It's so ridiculous. Although I'll be honest with you, so I have a lot of people who like to hate stalk my timeline and then find things to get pissy about, and then they use that to tweet about so that they can get their own clicks and stuff. It's you know what I'm saying? So I would actually charge them. Because if you're gonna like use me and your weird irrational hatred of me whom you've never met and have made like this weird, like people talk about me like say like that I'm like a genocide denier or and I'm like I've never what like what. It's like they just make shit up and pretend that it's true and like hype people up about it and get mad, and that's their like Twitter existence. And so yeah, I think I would probably charge them just because I mean, come on, at some point, just throw me a couple bucks for something for using me like that. Damn.
Right. They owe it to you.
Right? It's annoying. Which I try to ignore that shit. Y'all, I love you. Like if you see this and you're somebody that does this, I love you genuinely, but I don't need to see screenshots of people talking shit about me. I just don't. I don't know anybody who needs that, I just like to ignore them. It's fun for me. Usually I just mute them. And then they bitch from behind the mute and I don't ever see it and I don't care. And, that's good for me.
Sometimes I like to troll them back though.
Sometimes, yeah. But I mean, like I'm talking about the weird.
But then again, I'm saying,
yeah,
I know. I'm saying this is someone who doesn't have like 16K followers. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I have like, there are a couple people who are like genuinely obsessed and that's all they do. And it's
yeah,
weird.
I know. And cause like, I don't get those like, every once in a while I'll get a troll and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I do that too.
Well,
but there are some of these people
you walked into the wrong timeline here, buddy. I'm about to have some fun.
Yeah, that shit's fun. I get that. Yeah. Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, but there are some of these people who get a hobby. Like you're awful worried about what some chick in Ohio is tweeting. Like really find a hobby.
Yeah, Geoff.
Geoff. That guy, dude. And his fucking 87 sock puppets. It's funny watching like the sock puppets argue with other bots. That shit's fucking hysterical.
Yeah,
And
I get nothing from anyone anymore. Like it's just mostly radio silence on my Twitter now from smear artists. But I also don't put myself out there like you guys do.
Yeah. You reach a certain point where it's like you can't go back now, and it's
You're right though, man. For all of the heads that we live rent free, and like,
yeah, I get nothing. Like I'm glad because it sucks having to deal with it, but I just think it's funny. No, I know it's great.
Yeah, Jesse used to be like that too. Jesse was never on Twitter. And then when we started doing the show, he started getting on Twitter more. And I'm like, that's probably not good. You should probably not do that. You're like, just stay, like, you're fine. You don't need it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good. Because immediately started getting into
wasn't spent on Twitter. You could do that still.
What?
You could. Whatever it was you did when you weren't on Twitter, you can still do that.
Yeah.
I think.
It's possible.
I think. Unless what you were doing before you were on Twitter was trying to build up your clout on Friendster. You probably
or
can't
MySpace
do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't really like Twitter. Twitter's a tool.
At least this paid feature will kill it though. Like for real. Because like no one's gonna like people will stick around and it'll be like a mainstream Patreon, but like the majority of people will just be like, I'm not doing
I just love that like everybody just wants an edit button and they keep trying to add all this other nonsense that nobody wants. And it's like, just give me a fucking edit button. Like what can I have that? Like we've been asking for years.
Element has an edit button.
Yes, it does.
See, I don't like edit buttons, but I also have terrible grammar, so I should.
I just hate like typos make me a little then somebody retweets it and then lots of people retweet it and then you're like smacked in the face with your typo 40 times a day.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I once chalked like a bunch of stuff onto a crosswalk at an action and and I forgot the L in Julian, so it was just free Julian Assange. And I didn't realize it until like I took the pictures, went back home after a couple hours, and then just as I was about to share the picture, like I shared it to one group, and then after that, as I was looking at the picture again, I immediately realized, Holy shit.
At least you
I did
caught
all
it
this-
before it went out there.
I did all this chalking. I did all this chalking in the fucking sheriffs, and when they walk up to it, they're gonna see free Julian Assange. Yeah.
They'll get
A for effort. A
Right.
for effort, Gloria Jones.
Anonymous personality alleged to be
Right,
Gloria
sorry.
Jones.
Do
Sorry.
we want to start doing the Vault 7 stuff?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So listen, Vault 7, the anniversary for Vault 7, or at least the beginning of the release of Vault 7, is March 7th. So yeah, I figured, digging into that. I don't think a lot of people have really dug into Vault 7. To really, because there's a lot in there, and it's this. We say this about everything because it's the truth. Like, there's no way you could ever go through all of WikiLeaks and find there's just a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, but I think a lot of people this kind of snuck under the rug. I think a lot of things happened as they were releasing this, and people were distracted, and so yeah, I think there's a lot in this that is super interesting and creepy and depressing and terrifying and all of those fun things that WikiLeaks reveals to us.
So I will pull this up on the share because I have it ready. So this is starting off talking about the whistleblower, right? That's currently being prosecuted for this. And I believe he isn't even formally charged yet. I could be wrong. And I don't want to be, but that's just kind of what I was thinking. But this is about the conditions that he's being held in. And it is grotesque. We went through this article once before on the show, but I think as we talk about Vault 7, it's really worth highlighting. The United States Justice Department is attempting to foil former CIA engineer Joshua Schultz's challenge to his harsh confinement conditions at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City, or in New York. And if you remember, that's where Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Assistant U.S. Attorney Charles Jacobs argued in a letter to a federal judge, the court lacks jurisdiction to resolve this petition. In the context of this criminal case, the prosecutor maintains that MCC Warden Marty Lacan should be the target of any habeas petition or complaint, but Lacan cannot be named as a defendant. So I'm going to skip down a little bit to where it talks about the actual conditions, because this is pretty grotesque. On top of that, the prison apparently has an informal resolution process that prisoners like Schultz are required to go through before they can formally complain. Schultz has 17 outstanding forms submitted through this process. He has not been given a form that allows him to pursue an administrative remedy unless the prison replies to these forms. The warden limits the prisoner's ability to formally file requests, and as such, Schultz's lawyers insisted it is a violation of the Prison Litigation Reform Act. Prisoners in 10 South are often forced to urinate and defecate in plastic bags during visitation. Inmates are moved into a 6x6 foot cage. Instead of taking the inmate back to his cage, instead of taking the inmate back to his cage after visitation, which would be logical, the solitary housing unit lieutenants take the visitors back first. It can be anywhere from 5 to 7 hours before the lieutenants return, which means the prisoners must go to the bathroom in a plastic bag they are given. Systematic abuses and the mistreatment of Sam's prisoners played a decisive role in District Judge Vanessa Baratzer's decision to deny the U.S. government's extradition request against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. He would likely be placed under the kind of restrictions Schultz has faced in the U.S. Prevailed and brought him to the country for a trial under the espionage charges. Even more troubling, Schultz already went to trial once. A jury did not convict. Yet, because the Justice Department is responsible for special administrative measures delegations, they have not given up on their leak prosecution. The cruelty has not been abated. It is barbaristic and inhumane to lock human beings in boxes for years and years. The complaint concludes, it is a punishment worse than death, and there is no wonder that MCC inmates would rather kill themselves than continue to live in absolute oppression.
And the home of the fuck.
So just that is what knowing all of this information is costing a human being, right? Before we get into it, that's just to set the stage. Like, this information is so important that this person knew what could happen to them and released it anyways. And they may not even have been the person who released it. It could just literally be them just picking a person and saying, we think you did it. So with that, just want to pick up with one of the consortium news articles.
If somebody else screen shares it, I can read. If nobody else
Yeah,
wants to
I've
read.
got I have the Revelations WikiLeaks number 9 pulled up currently, so we can jump into that.
I'm going to drop that link to that article into chat real quick for everybody, because it's
Make this just a little bigger.
That's what he said.
Ugh, Barack Obama. Ugh. Makes my skin crawl.
So do you want to kick it off, Misty, and I'll pick up?
Yeah, that's cool. Okay,
Long
so on February 6, 2017, WikiLeaks released documents detailing the Central Intelligence Agency's espionage program in the months leading up to and following France's presidential election in 2012. The agency used spies and cyber weapons to infiltrate and hack into the major political parties with competing candidates, the Socialists, the National Front, and the Union for a Popular Movement. Their candidates, respectively, you're going to make me speak French, Francois Hollande, I'm guessing, Marine Le Pen, that's not so hard, and incumbent Nicolas Sarkozy were also spied upon individually, as were many other prominent political figures. If you can scroll up.
Oh, sorry. Reading chat too.
Okay. The objectives of the program include ascertaining the contending parties' political strategies and platforms, their views of the U.S., and their relations with the European Union, with other European nations, Germany and Britain, as well as Israel, Palestine, Libya, Syria, and others. The CIA's French operation lasted 10 months, beginning in November 2011 and enduring until September 2012, several months after Hollande won the election and formed a socialist government. WikiLeaks' disclosure of the agency's project bears a special irony. It was just as WikiLeaks published this material in 2017 that the CIA helped propagate unsubstantiated and later discounted intelligence that Russian hackers and propagandists were interfering with France's presidential election that year. Similar allegations, similarly lacking in... Steve, scroll please. Whoa. Similarly lacking in evidence were floated as the European Union held parliamentary elections in May 2019, as WikiLeaks reported at the time of the releases on the CIA's covert activities in France. Those revelations were to serve as context for its forthcoming CIA Vault 7 series. WikiLeaks' apparent intent was to display a CIA hacking operation in action. Vault 7, the subject of this latest report of the history of WikiLeaks disclosure, stands as the most extensive publication on record of classified and confidential CIA documents. Never before and not since have the agency's innumerable programs and capabilities been so thoroughly exposed to public scrutiny. And then it said the biggest since Snowden, which, yes, I would agree.
Yeah, no, and if you want to pause for a moment.
Yeah, because it's the section after that, the next one that picks back up with like meat and potatoes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if you guys wanted to just kind of.
But just to.
Yeah, I think that's good to that's a good place to pause and just reflect on the fact that this was the largest CIA leak ever, and there hasn't been one since. So, again, thank you, Julian. These are the things, in my humble opinion, the American public has a right to know about. And the CIA is a shady as fuck, corrupt as fuck organization. And I would rather there be checks and balances on those bastards, personally. That's just me, though.
Absolutely. Because it's, right, so that's the biggest and last bit of information we've actually got to know about the CIA, is this Vault 7, which we're about to get into, right? The last major disclosure we've had of war crimes was back in 2010 with the Iraq-Afghan war logs and Cablegate, right? Like, that was the last time any military institution had any type of scrutiny put on them on a large scale. And this was pretty much the only time, or the largest in history, and nothing has happened since then.
So
Okay, do you want to jump back into it?
we're going back into it.
Democracy.
Scroll down a little more. It's the next big section.
The next big section is about this came at a potential time for a pardon for Julian Assange. It doesn't say
No, I think you need to go back up because it's
no, because back up is this.
No, where you were.
Right there is
Yeah.
where we left off.
Yeah. The Vault 7 series concerns the extraordinarily sophisticated inventory of cyber weapons the CIA has developed to spy on or hack into the communications of any person or entity it targets. Apart from the espionage function, certain of the programs in Vault 7, this designation is WikiLeaks, not the CIA's, can also plant documents and data without being detected as the source. When, for example, the agency wishes to compromise an adversary via a false flag operation. The program wherein this capability was developed, called Marble, may have been crucial to creating the orthodox narrative that Russia was responsible for the theft of the Democratic Party email in 2016, the cornerstone allegation in the construct we now call Russiagate. The Vault 7 releases expose the CIA's hacking activities from 2013 to 2016. The series began on March 7, 2017, with the publication of Year Zero, an introductory survey and analysis of the agency's globally developed hacking programs. The Vault 7 series ran for 6 months, concluding on September 7, 2017. Complete as of that date, the series is comprised of 23 publications, each which focuses on an individual hacking or cyber espionage program. Marble is one of these. CIA's development of its hacking capabilities began as a joint effort with the NSA, but the September 11th attacks and the subsequent wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, begun in 2001 and 3 respectively, proved a turning point for the agency. It was during this time that the CIA, as WikiLeaks puts it in their introduction to the Vault 7 series, gained political and budgetary preeminence over the NSA. According to former U.S. intelligence sources, the CIA has invested some $175 billion in its vast variety of cyber programs in the post-2011 years. The agency's hacking division, WikiLeaks notes, freed it from having to disclose its often controversial operations to NSA, its primary bureaucratic rival, in order to draw on the NSA's hacking capacities. You want to pause there for a moment? Bring it back to you guys while I try and dig through some other stuff. There we go. I have to bring it back to the share screen. I was hoping that you guys would like to talk about some of that while I was doing the scrolling and the fun.
Sorry, I'm trying to tweet and chat, and
everybody's just bullshit. All right.
Well, no. I'm just impressed that they.
No,
were
you're
able
right,
to
Jones.
that.
It does. I'm sorry. Mask. It does. It yeah. I won't get caught doing multiple other things while you're reading again. Yeah.
Dude, we all do it. We
You
have
know
to. It's the
what?
only way we can keep up with this shit.
I'm sure Glory Jones appreciates that.
Oh, do you get mad about that, Jones? It's called multitasking, sis. Come on now.
I can't speak on behalf of Gloria Jones, being that I'm
Oh,
an
right.
anonymous personality.
Right, I get it.
So, with the publication of Year Zero, it was immediately clear that WikiLeaks had penetrated into or very near the core of CIA cyber operations. This first Vault 7 release is comprised of 8,761 documents and files obtained from what WikiLeaks describes as an isolated high-security network situated inside the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence in Langley, the agency's headquarters. As WikiLeaks notes, the agency had lost control of the majority of its hacking arsenal shortly before it published Year Zero. There had been a massive leak, to put a point in simple terms. The archive appears to have been circulated among former U.S. government hackers and contractors in an unauthorized manner, WikiLeaks reported, one of whom has provided WikiLeaks with portions of the archive. This occurred at some point in 2016. Year Zero serves as an overview of the scope and direction of the CIA's global hacking program and an introduction to the material included in the Vault 7 releases to follow. The agency's inventory of tools was the purview, and we can assume continues to be so, of the Engineering Development Group, a technology department under the authority of the Center for Cyber Intelligence. The EDG also tests and operates its products once they are perfected and added to the agency's arsenal. The engineering group, WikiLeaks reported, has developed some 500 projects, each with its own malware and hacking tools. The EDG's focus is on penetration, implanting, control, and exfiltration. Year Zero analyzes the most important of these. High among the objectives of Vault 7's programs was to achieve the capability of penetrating the manufacturers of cell phones and other electronic devices for a variety of operations. Among the products targeted for this purpose were Apple's iPhone and iPad, Google's Android operating system, Microsoft Windows, and Samsung televisions. Programs included in the Vault 7 collection were designed to hack these and other commonly used devices and systems remotely, so they can corrupt the targets and also send the CIA the owner's geographic location and all audio and text communications. Other programs were capable of turning on a device's microphone and camera without the owner's knowledge. Other hack and control programs targeted Mac OS X, Solaris, and Linux operating systems. A number of the CIA's programs revealed in the Vault 7 release focus exclusively on one or another of these companies, most commonly Microsoft. Do we want to pause here for a minute? Or
Yes, because Jesus Christ.
Sure.
I mean, the fact that TVs, they can spy on you through your TV, you guys. Like, this is not normal. Shouldn't be anyway.
The part where these leaks revealed that they spy on you through your own webcams and phone cams. Like, I don't think people properly understand the magnitude of not only that, but these leaks as well, revealing that the CIA spies on people through their own technology. Like, because you know, when I was going into high school, it was the thing where it was like, you know, middle school and high school, like, oh, make sure you put the tape in front of your web camera so there's no one spying on you. Like, that became a thing because of these leaks. Like it was a thing. Like, you know, if you're around my age, then we might not remember these leaks, but what you do remember is how, because of them, every kid in high school was walking around with duct tape over their webcam. So you need to understand the impact that those revelations had, and especially once you consider how the price that Julian Assange has paid for it.
Yes. Well, you might as well invite like an NSA agent to come stay in your guest room.
Yeah.
I mean, they can turn on your TV whenever they want to and listen to everything that you say. They can spy on your children, your family members that come over, everything. Like, nobody should be okay with that.
Yeah,
ever.
Quick flick off to Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck Kevin. But yeah, you guys, I don't know why this, and I was baffled, as I am usually when something like this comes out, why it wasn't a massive story. Everybody should have been outraged by the stuff that was released in Vault 7 and the capabilities that they have and how they use it. And nobody seemed to care at all. It was like a blip on the radar. And, nobody talked. It's the largest CIA leak in history. And I don't remember there being, and not surprisingly, but I don't remember there being a ton of media coverage. I don't remember there being a lot of stories being written other than by people like Mohammed Almazy or Kevin Gostola or, one of those great journalists who does their job. But people don't talk about this. And
it got skirted over completely. But like going back to my earlier point, despite the massive impact that it had, despite now kids everywhere have tape over their cameras because of it. Like now you see memes all over Twitter, like the fucking FBI agent memes where they're texting you and it's like, hey, what you listening to, bro? And then it's like, picture of an anime or some shit. And they're like, oh yeah, I see why you crying now, bro. Like, those kind of memes. Those exist because of these leaks. It had an impact on our culture where, people just casually throw around the joke of like, oh, don't say that too loud or the NSA agent is going to hear you. Like that was because of WikiLeaks, because of the incompetence of media. They don't report on what really happened there.
Mm-hmm.
But just once again, thank you, Julian.
But even those, right? Even the memes, even the way that we're allowed to discuss this information, right, isn't anything about pushing back against it. It's not anything about trying to find a way to secure yourself against it. It's just like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah, people just accept it.
Yeah,
okay, well, that's how things are, I guess. No, that shouldn't just be how things are. They shouldn't be able to. I mean, when we talked to Vanessa Beeley, I think I was saying, like, they have access. They know what kind of cereal you eat, what size shoe you wear, where your kids go to school, what mall you shop at, everything, what car wash you go to, everything. They know everything about you, your favorite brand of coffee, your toothpaste, all of it. They know everything about you. And they have, there's no accountability for them. WikiLeaks was about it. WikiLeaks was about their only accountability. There are some other media outlets who occasionally get some good leaks or whatever. Gray Zone's doing some good stuff. There's some other places out there, but it's complete transparency for us. Like we have no privacy whatsoever. And then they have, just a complete shield. Like we are not capable of knowing anything about what our elected officials or our government is doing, why they're doing it, when they're doing it, how much they're paying for doing it. And we should be able to know that stuff. It should be the opposite. We should have privacy and they should be an open book. And it's not that way. And it doesn't have to be that way. And people just accept it like, okay, that's just, I guess, the price we pay. And it's not. It's really not. And I love how they sold it after 9/11, that it was for like national security. Like you have to give up your privacy for national security. When really, if we want national security, it should be that the elected officials have no privacy. That would secure national security. You know what I mean? Yeah. If they couldn't commit the crimes that they commit on a daily fucking basis, and if it were like out on display all the time, the minute they did it, they would be too scared. They should be afraid to ever do anything illegal. They should be terrified that they're going to get found out. That should be the position that we're in. That should be like,
bro, I'm more afraid to do legal shit. I'm more afraid to do shit that's within my constitutional rights than these fuckers in government are to do illegal shit, than to go commit war crimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're likely to, I mean, when John Kiriakou leaked his stuff, he's the only person who ever got in trouble out of the whole thing. When Chelsea Manning leaked her stuff, she was the only, her and Julian Assange are the only people who have ever seen any punishment from literal war crimes. We have it.
Torture program.
Mike Pompeo. Yeah, I was director of the CIA. We lied, we cheated, we stole. We had whole training courses dedicated to that. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment. Oh, really now, Mike? This dude admitted to crimes. He confessed to committing crimes.
Just say it out loud.
In government, brazenly and joyfully.
To a bunch of fucking
just shrug.
And no one in our punk-ass, Trump-ass media brought it up. Nobody got in a room with him and went,
Excuse me, sir. What the fuck are you talking about?
So what exactly is the CIA doing then? No. Instead, it's, oh, well, you know, I don't think we're being aggressive enough towards Russia. Trump-ass bitches, bruh.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. We're in it, I know we like joke it's a cartoon. It's so much worse than that. Oh,
It's a shitty cartoon.
it's like the worst
shitty
cartoon ever. Yeah.
Like there are a lot of cartoons I would rather be in. We're in like the fucking Attack on Titan world where there's giant man-eating beasts trying to kill you.
Right. Well, I mean, like even the worst cartoon ever made, I think, is better than the situation in which we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad. It's pretty bad. It would be comical if it weren't so unbelievably depressing and dangerous for everybody. And
yeah, bro, we're in the fucking comic a kill world. That's the world we're in.
Yeah, that would be merciful. You know what I'm saying? Oh, humans suck.
Can't take your word for it, Misty, because I know you don't watch a comic a kill.
No. My kid's getting into anime now, so I may have to hit you up for some scoop. So I don't know what the fuck that is.
Nah, Inuyasha's mid. Inuyasha's mid level. It's solid, but I mean, you can do better than Inuyasha.
It's a good starting point. Like 500 episodes and like 30 movies is pretty good childhood.
No, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is probably one of the best starting points you could get. That, Soul Eater, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, can never go wrong with those.
Agreed. So this is Silicon Valley. This is, I don't even remember where this article's from. Let me see. This is bankinfosecurity.com, right? So this is talking about Silicon Valley's response, essentially. Silicon Valley's resists Assange's offer. Many of the specific exploits have been redacted from the leaks. Assange, in a live-streamed press conference from the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he had claimed diplomatic asylum since 2012, said his organization would share vulnerable details directly with the affected firms. We have decided to work with them to give some exclusive access to some of the technical details we have so the fixes can be pushed out, Assange said. Responding to WikiLeaks offering to work directly with manufacturers, Dublin-based cybersecurity consultant Brian Honan, who advises EU law enforcement agencies or intelligence agencies, Europol, says via Twitter that it shows how WikiLeaks is trying to make itself relevant again as they release all of this information. At least some technology industry figures have declined the invitation and questioned Assange's motives, saying they see him as unwittingly or not aiding Russia's geopolitical agenda. And I'm going to pause for a second because that's important to point out the fact that the largest CIA leak in human history comes out, and these companies are like, but Russian hackers, like you're literally fixing hacking exploits, regardless of who's providing it to you. And you're going to be like, no, there might be hackers. Like he's just saying, hey, this is broke. Like, fix this.
Listen, I know the CIA can hack into my webcam and my phone and my TV, but I'm a bit concerned with Julian Assange's political personal agenda.
Like, I have the tape over my camera. But,
it sounds dumb, you fucking bootlickers.
It really is dumb, though. Like, I don't care about Julian Assange's personal, political, whatever the fuck he's got going on. He offers me source documentation. I'm cool with that. And I wish more people would do it. Quit bitching about Julian Assange and go find some stuff to expose people you don't like, too. I'm down for that. Let's go.
And don't be a Bellingcat about it either.
No, yeah, don't be a little bitch, but I mean, you know, I'm all about some source documentation. Like that's what journalism should be. I want to see it, all of it. Bring it to me. I want to see it. So I don't even care. Like people try to do that all the time. Like, so what if Julian Assange worked with the Russians? I don't give a fuck. Good for him. He exposed some corruption in my government, and I'm down with that. Like, great, excellent, good job, buddy. Thank you, Putin. You know, like I don't care. I don't give a shit. I have no allegiance to, government officials in my country. None whatsoever. I don't give a shit. If you're committing war crimes, I want to know about it. And I don't care who shows me the evidence for it, because you should be punished for that. And, that's the problem, is that they're never punished for that, but they should be. I mean, that shouldn't be controversial to say.
I love it when people think it's some kind of gotcha when they're like, oh, well, Assange worked with Russia. Why don't we focus on Reality Winner instead? And it's like, yeah, pardon them both.
Yeah, I get that a lot. You never talk about Reality Winner. I've gotten that before. You never talk about Reality Winner ever. And I'm like, really? Because we mentioned her at the start of every single one of our shows. So try again. Yes, we do. Yeah. We talk about
well, what about Reality Winner? Do you think does your Russian botanist think we should pardon her too?
Yes.
Yeah. Totally. Like,
whistleblowers?
Without question.
Mm-hmm.
Without question.
Yeah.
All of them.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Free them all. Free them all. Free all political prisoners.
Do it now.
Why stop at Reality Winner? Leonard Peltier.
All of them. Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
Lumia. All of them.
Today, I'm down for it. Like, that's not a gotcha. You're not cute. That doesn't work on me, homie. I'm down. Let's go. So ridiculous. I'm tired of dealing with these assholes. Can you tell? Can you tell? Whew. It's a lot. They come for me, you guys. I'm going to let one of you guys have control of my Twitter for like a week so you can just see. You can just see.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Right?
I mean, I get it on a smaller scale. People aren't as like derogatory.
Well, it's because I'm female.
Because you're a chick, yeah. It was weird, but
it is, because it's not like that matters. Like, I can still eviscerate you. It's
Yeah.
Then you just look dumb. Whatever.
What I don't get is why people waste all their time trying to get you to do something when they could just as easily be doing something.
Right.
Like, why are you hanging out on Twitter harassing Misty or harassing fucking anybody, really, to do something when you yourself could be doing that thing?
Right.
If you're going to come at an organizer or an activist for the way that they're doing their activism, how you show them a better way to do it is by doing that.
Well, and I mean, if you could just spend a little bit of that time and energy on somebody who actually has some power, because I'm just some chick in Ohio. So spending all of your time like hate stalking my timeline so that you can find something to be outraged over, that's not a personality. Like, do something. If you want to like get involved, attacking some random chick in Ohio is really not all that effective in making any change for anybody. So, try anybody, pick somebody with a little bit of power and, a little bit of that time, spend it on them.
Yeah.
Just asking if you could do that. Be cool.
Mike Pompeo was trending the other day.
He got a whole satanic glob of jello.
He got a whole 1,700 tweets and it put him at like number 17 or some shit. So I hopped in there to talk mad shit. It was fun.
Yeah, on that note, Mike Pompeo can get trending for that much. Meanwhile, we get pegged out of our fucking minds for the We Are All Assange Twitter storms. Like, those tweets are hella shadow banned. Like, you'll tweet out a well thought out We Are All Assange tweet, Clovis for Assange tweet, send it to like 15 different chats, and you'll end up with like what? 15 retweets and 13 likes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's because they don't show it to anyone.
I know that. That's why.
That was kind of the point.
Do you remember when the Twitter dashboard came out and they actually showed how they were censoring people? like all the little fucked up controls that they have and shit.
I love that they still try to deny it, like shadow banning and stuff. They'll still try. We don't do that. We don't. Yes, you fucking do. Stop it. Stop it. We all know. Just stop it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that they can even assert that and anybody takes them seriously.
Don't hide it.
You don't
Twitter-
trust major
see you.
global social media institutions?
No, social media is not our friend, you guys. They need broken up. They need to be co-op. Like nobody should have that much power over public discourse ever, 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 ever.
There should be an internet mayor for every city.
Yes. Yeah. But no, like Silicon Tech, like no. Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey should not control all of public discourse.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, thank you. I got no time for it.
So I don't know if we want to read all of them, but I just want to talk about some of the things that, other things that got revealed in Vault 7. One of them was basically a database that just stored encrypted information. Information that they couldn't crack at this time, but possibly could in the future. It was revealed that they could hack cars.
Yeah.
Right? You could be driving down the road in your normal person car, and they can just hack you and slam you into a wall. That it was revealed that they can literally do that, take control of your vehicle.
Your
And an
normal
era
car.
where we have major tech institutions pushing for internet-based driving.
Yeah.
Right? We already know everyone's cars are vulnerable.
For self-driving cars.
It came out that they can literally go in and basically get into absolutely any device, like any device whatsoever. If there is a thing that is not handmade, they most likely have a way in. They have direct access to most routers. If you use anything provided by your cable company, when you got your thing for a modem or a router, they can just get right in. A lot of cable companies have actually switched to doing a combo deal where they just give you your router, your password, and your modem, and it's one box. And then we talked about it in the Consortium News article, the actual like geolocation tracking. The fact that they can figure out where everyone is at any given time just by looking it up.
But hey, we voted out fascism.
Yay, we did it.
That's the
We
sound
did it, you guys.
of me breathing in democracy.
A sigh of freedom.
I'm like bathing in it right now. All the
Yeah.
democracy.
Breathe
So
in all that
overwhelming.
freedom and intersectionalism and diversity, and getting a bit emotional thinking
Eagles
about
and
those.
fireworks. Yeah.
I'm getting a bit emotional thinking about those hearts on Valentine's Day again. It's so beautiful.
And you guys, we have facilities now instead of cages.
Oh my
So much
god!
better.
They have arts and crafts in them too. Like they're so
No,
colorful.
Definitely in the maximum security prison where they have arts and crafts.
Oh, right.
God damn.
Color television.
ADX is basically like camp for criminals.
Ooh, so which one is the massage therapist in?
I think you have to go to wherever they keep CEOs for like 18 months when they get caught defrauding people. They don't give you the massage therapy at a Supermax. You have to get like a club fed kind of prison for that.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it was like, regular massage therapist at Supermax, and then, the 12-year-old massage therapist for the CEOs.
No, that's the entertainment, right?
Ah.
For the pool parties. That's not the. Come on. Keep up, Glory.
Yeah.
Anonymous personality alleged to be Glory Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody was buying that like the first time.
I still believe it. Like wholeheartedly.
Waited.
Oh,
Yeah.
Andrew.
I
Yeah,
mean,
nobody would ever know.
we could keep it up if you want. Not here to kink shame.
I mean, I'm keeping it up because I don't want the chat to see my face. So
Glory's convinced that she looks terrible, which is ridiculous because she looks adorable, and it's annoying because she's adorable, but there you have it.
I'm not adorable.
Yes, you are. Really? Really, though? Yes, you are. I bet the chat agrees with me and not you.
So
I do.
Glory's cartoon is almost done.
Oh.
I know I said that like a week or so ago, but Johnny B, very like, I don't know, dude. If he likes drawing something, then he's going to keep drawing it forever and be like, no, it's not right yet. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Not done.
Yeah, that is an artist thing.
Looks fucking
And
fantastic.
even when you're finally like done, like you give it up, it's still like you're still like think about it. You will think about it
Are we
forever.
we ready to wrap up for tonight?
No,
Yeah.
Andrew.
I don't know. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's just mostly everything.
Steve, I panicked so hard last week at the close because we usually close. And so Andrew started talking. And as soon as Andrew started talking, I realized that you weren't there and I was going to have to do the close. And I immediately started panicking. Immediately. It was immediate panic. I panicked the whole time Andrew was talking. And then Kendra, and I actually told Kendra, I thought about like just jumping in real quick after Andrew so that she would have to do it. But I didn't do it. That was nice. But I thought about it. I really
That's
did. As soon as he
funny.
started talking, I was like, oh, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in right after him. I'm going to do that. I did.
That's funny.
I should have.
Oh, that was great. That was hilarious.
That was
good.
You could probably go back to the close of that show and like catch the expressions on both of their faces as they're like, oh, wait, what?
I'm sure. I don't know. I don't ever go back and watch myself. But I'm positive there's like a moment where you see me realize that, oh fuck. I have to close.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Good times. Lots of fun.
I didn't realize it was that like trauma inducing or
It's just, you know how I am, dude. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it. And then when Andrew started talking, it like dawned on me. And because it's like something I'm not used to. And I just panicked because, oh, I'm going to fuck this up. Cause that's just me. That's how my brain works. So yeah, I panicked for about, I don't know, 2.5 minutes while they were talking and it was fine. It was fine. And I laughed about it and it was fine. But you know, my brain just went into panic mode. Is what it is. I've learned to accept it.
I'm glad you made it through. Yeah.
I am
It's
nothing if
okay.
not
I'm-
painfully self-aware of my neuroses. Okay.
I'm awkward as fuck too, Misty.
I just don't even care anymore. Like, I don't like being on camera. If people decide that like they hate me and I'm fine with not ever being on camera again. I know that I'm awkward. I know that I get tongue tied. I know that my brain works faster than my mouth. And so sometimes I lose my train of thought or I get distracted or sidetracked or whatever, and deal with it or not. That's just the way it is. I'm done. Like, you know, that's just it. Awkward is good. Awkward is fine.
Awkward's fun.
It's interesting, at least for me.
So-
I never
so
know what's going to
now-
come out of my mouth.
So anonymous personality, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Oh,
Wow. Being that I'm anonymous and
Everywhere.
from an undisclosed location, you can find me everywhere.
we are Legion.
We are Legion. Expect us.
Yeah.
And
That
fuck 12. Fuck the CIA. Fuck the DHS. Fuck the FBI. Don't be a snitch. Join us on March 17th and March 18th for the Free Assange, Close for Assange event and for the Fuck Censorship rally, because I like censorship the same way I like 12, and that's fucked. And
That would make
Yeah.
a good tweet, actually.
yeah, seeing as how I'm alleged to be Glory Jones, then I will inform the people that you can catch her on Sloan News Day, where she is very happy to be a co-host there. So that's what I'll say. Expect us,
Well done, anonymous personality.
and make sure to spam neuter your pets and politicians, because show up on ABB a lot too.
So my name's Andrew Smith. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew Sigmund. You can find us on Twitter at action_4 Assange. please check out the link to the GoFundMe as well as to the official events, and help us share the event page around. We do need your help getting back to DC. It is something that we're more or less in like emergency mode trying to plan out at this point, but you guys have always come through before. So thank you very, very much. And I look forward to seeing everybody in DC in the coming weeks.
And I am Misty Winston. You can find me on Twitter at Sarcasm Stardust. I have another show with Jesse Zerwell called Facts on the Ground, which you can find on YouTube, Rockfin, and Odyssey. Yeah, definitely check out the fundraiser, the new one. Go Get Funding? Is that right? Go Get Funding? Okay, yeah, check out the Go Get Funding. Share it. Yeah, it is a little bit like crisis mode right now. GoFundMe sucks. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We always do. And I always feel, letter writing campaign. Don't forget Merrick Garland, Joe Biden. I always feel like I'm going to forget something, but I don't think I am this time actually. So yeah, just thanks everybody in the chat and my co-host and our special guest, anonymous person alleged to be Glory Jones. We appreciate you coming by the show.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Poikinen, and I have a show called Slow News Day with my incredible and talented and smart and humble co-host, Glory Jones. You should be watching that show on Rockfin. You should, because YouTube, I don't know why we still have a channel there. I really don't. They seem to be happy with like limiting the people who get to see the content and then putting a QAnon context label on that content. At any rate, the account's free to make on Rockfin. And if you like what we do over there, you can endorse the show. It's $9.99 a month. You get everybody else's premium content on the network. It's probably the best way that you can support the show. And you get to watch a fuck ton of other kick-ass content creators and all of their paywalled stuff. So you should do that. You should. Please, if you can, donate to the GoFundMe. If you can't, please share the link and then share it again and then share it again. Fuck GoFundMe. Go get funding. Go get funding. That's the link. It's true. It is. We should have known after they did Burmis. I
was really hoping, because we had done so many, that we could get past it. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I recently killed my Patreon. I had been asking people to just, if they were supporting the show on Patreon, to drop it and support us on Rockfin, because I wasn't putting content on the Patreon like at all. And then Patreon nuked Ryan Christian, the last American vagabond, nuked his channel for putting up medical misinformation when he was citing the World Health Organization and having peer-reviewed doctors with their peer-reviewed studies on the show. So they nuked his channel. So in a I don't know, act of solidarity or protest, I nuked ours. So if you were supporting the show over there, I'm sorry and thank you. And we have stuff on Rockfin. Jared Beck will be returning to the show on Sunday this will be the moon landing episode with Jared Beck. And I've had a lot of people that over the last couple of months that have been asking for that specific episode. So we did the JFK, and Pasta and Burmis were in on that. That was fantastic. And then we did Tavistock. Jared has like what he calls the 4 great conspiracies of the modern age. So Tavistock, JFK, this will be the moon landing. And there is one more, and boy, what could that be? So we'll let you know.
2020 election.
No, that's not what it is. But it should definitely be looked at as a conspiracy. It should. The Time magazine wrote an article that said like a small group of unelected, very wealthy people got together to determine the future of the outcome of the election. That's quite literally
They fortified it, Steve. You should be thanking them. They fortified the election.
secure democracy. They sure
you.
did, man. They tied it down to the fucking roof rack like one of Mitt Romney's dogs, and now it can't go anywhere. It is fully secure. It's not ever going to breathe ever again. That's how secure it is. Thank you guys for being a part of all of this with us. We love you out there in Chatland. Thank you to my co-hosts and to our very special guest. Thanks, Sleepy Josh, on the ones and the twos.
Tech Ninja!
We got a lot of really good stuff that we're not able to announce yet, but as soon as we are, we'll be very happy to share with you. And again, this is not ready for it. It's fucking awesome.
Expect us.
Awesome. It's awesome. Love you guys. We'll see you soon. Good luck to us all.